Louisiana gardeners have grown our garden hydrangeas for many generations. The traditional hydrangea that we've grown here in the South is Hydrangea macrophylla, the garden hydrangea, the moped hydrangea, or the big leaf hydrangea. But a new species hydrangea has been moving into the nurseries in the last few years, and it's a species that we're not as familiar with, so I wanted to give you some pointers on this new type of hydrangea. The species is Hydrangea paniculata, and the flower head is in a panicle. That's where the species name comes from, and notice that it's in a cone shape rather than the dome shape that you see with our regular garden hydrangeas. Now, our regular garden hydrangeas love to grow in shade and that eastern exposure with a little morning sun, but paniculata hydrangeas are far more sun tolerant. You can plant these just about out in full sun, or at least in a spot where they get sun for much of the day. Drainage is critical with these paniculatas. They must have really good drainage in our climate. With the heat and high rainfall, they'll get root rot if they're in a low, poorly drained area. So they're great in containers or raised beds, but do make sure the drainage is really good. Now, the flower heads are produced on new growth. The regular garden hydrangeas produce their flowers on old growth they made the summer before. We have to stop pruning them in late summer. But these paniculatas bloom on new growth, so you can prune these hydrangeas back in the late winter or early spring. So again, think about adding some of these paniculatas to your landscape. This is Limelight. It's got a beautiful greenish white flower head, but more sun, good drainage. Prune them in the late winter, early spring, and enjoy the Hydrangea paniculatas as a new plant for Louisiana landscapes. Forget it growing. I'm Dan Gill with the LSU Ag Center.